So, today we are playing Dr. Jelly and Mr. Slime by the Thinky Collective, which includes me this time. Uh, it's basically just a group of people from the Thinky Puzzle Discord. But there was the previous game, What Gophers Go For, which I played on my channel. And like that was made by the Thinky Collective, but it was a different group. It's just still from the Thinky Puzzle Discord. I think probably a lot of the people were the same, but not everybody. Like I wasn't involved last time, but I was involved with this one. So the way this works is that somebody on the Discord comes up with a mechanic that's interesting. They implement a level for it in puzzle scripts. I guess it doesn't technically have to be in puzzle script, but it has been both times so far. And then they'll post on the Discord saying, "Hey, who wants to do one of these collaborative project things?" And a bunch of people say yes. This time I think it was 36 people, pretty big group. And then, so that first person will pass their level and mechanic implementation to a random person from the group that said yes. And then that random person will add a level, maybe add a mechanic, maybe add some graphics, sounds, that kind of stuff, like a bit of polish. And then they'll pass it to the next random person in the group, and so on. So each person adds a level, some extra stuff if they want to, and then pass it along. I don't think there was anybody maybe that some people didn't add a level, I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure nobody added more than one level. So it's like one level each until you end up with a complete game. I was pretty late in the process, so because it's like random, you could end up at the beginning of the chain, you could end up at the end, but I ended up at the end. Well, not right at the end, but near the end, which means I have seen a lot of the game already and played through it. Because like if you're going to design a puzzle for a game, you sort of have to know what came before your puzzle. So you don't repeat ideas, so that it feels interesting coming off the back of other puzzles. So I played through everything. There was one puzzle I didn't complete before I designed my puzzle, but I did complete it afterwards. So yeah, I managed to do all of them. However, there's been puzzles since then because I wasn't the last person, so a bunch of puzzles were added at the end that I haven't seen. There are also going to be some that I did do before that I don't remember the solution to. That's almost guaranteed. I played through a few times when I was designing mine, and even then I was struggling with some of them. Anyway, I guess I'll get started, and I'll just talk about what I think about the way it was designed and put together and the puzzles that were added and such. And when we get to my puzzle, I'll be able to talk more about what I was thinking with that. But yeah, so I, Dr. Jelly, may seem to be a simple researcher. As far as I understand, the very original version of this wouldn't have even had a title or all that text or anything. Like, I don't think this level would have been the first one either. Like, there would have been a level that actually, this is a very tutorially, it shows you that, like, this stuff behaves like a wall and you can't walk through it, but there is that green square there, so I wonder what that does. Whereas I imagine the original first level was like an actual puzzle involving stuff that you'll see coming up. But fortunately somebody, I don't know who it was, decided to put this in, which is good because you don't really want to kick off a game without like a little introduction like this. It tells you a few things. It tells you, I am this character. These are walls. This behaves like a wall, but it looks different, and that adds that question into your head. Like, so then what is the point of this? Why isn't it just a wall? And it establishes like what your goal is for the level, which is this green square. And if we step on it, we. But with the help of some non-FDA approved drugs, I turn into Mr. Slime. So the animation at the end of the level, that is something I added. So I basically just felt like the animation where you're falling into the trapdoor hole thing. So I guess one of the things I don't like about puzzle script games is that it's hard to make them feel like cohesive, I guess. Like it's hard to even describe, but like typically when you make a puzzle script game, you'll achieve the goal and there'll just be like a hard cut from that puzzle to the next puzzle, which is just kind of jarring. It doesn't make the game feel that great, and it just makes it feel like a puzzle script game, which is not a problem if your target is only people who are okay with very abstract looking puzzle script style stuff. But if you want to make it feel a bit nicer, there's some simple things you can do, but it's hard to do them in puzzle script. Like a lot of games would add transitions between puzzles in some way, like a wipe, like something will cover the screen and then it'll uncover the screen and there'll be the next level there or something like that, because people like smooth motion between things. It's kind of like in film, you don't cut from one scene to another, just do a hard cut. Like if like one character's speaking in a scene and then in the next scene another character's speaking, you don't just cut between those two people. It would be very jarring. You have to do various techniques like establishing shots and such, and yeah, it's just animation. It's the principle of animation. You want to smooth things out. You want to blend between two things, and so in puzzle script that's pretty hard to do, because you don't really have control over how you get from one puzzle to the next. It is just a hard cut, but there is one thing you can do, which is you can like do a little animation at the end of the puzzle that just makes it feel like it's leading from one puzzle to the next. I'm rambling a lot. I guess that's sort of the point of this. But anyway, let's do some more puzzles. So this is where we get taught the actual main mechanic of this game, which is these bottles that we can pick up. I remember when I first did this level, I did not totally understand what I was doing. I think I just sort of went through like this and then went, well, and it's like, oh, okay, I can get through. And then just left. But it's actually quite good to sort of take a little bit of time to understand what's going on here. It was probably like 4 levels into it that I really understood what was going on, because I just didn't stop to think about it until then. So what's happening is that there's this slime stuff. And when I grab this, I turn into Mr. Slime and I leave a path. And the way that works is anywhere that there wasn't slime before that I walk over ends up becoming slime after I turn back into Dr. Jelly. Anywhere that is currently slime and I walk over stops being slime. And that's kind of, it's very nicely shown by the kind of the background behind the slime. So there's like this dark purple and there's a light purple here. So that's saying that this bit's going to become slime and this bit won't be. And so then if I grab this, that's how it ends up changing. I saw this recently being described as like an XOR mechanic, like exclusive OR, which makes sense. It's like if I guess if either I walk on a space but there's no slime there, or if I don't walk on a space and there's slime there, then there's slime afterwards. Otherwise it disappears. It's exclusive OR. So there's my animation again. And there's an animation when coming into the level as well where you see them falling. Yeah, I think that just adds a bit of cohesiveness, makes it smoother in some way. So yeah, some of these levels I'll just be going through very automatically, like that one, I wasn't even thinking. But yeah, just clearing out the slime that blocks the way. There's actually a few ways of solving that. As in, it's basically the same each time, but you can end up with a slightly different pattern at the end. Let's drop through. As Mr. Slime, I turn all roadblocks into roads. Okay, so this one has 2 exits, which is interesting. I can't remember if that ever comes up again. But I guess it teaches you that if there were, then you don't need to go to both of them. But I don't think maybe it does come up again, I can't remember. Oh, it does for sure. It comes up in my puzzle. I forgot about that. Yeah, it definitely comes up. But because you only have to get to one, you only have to clear the path to one. The thing that is interesting about this, so when I came to this puzzle originally, and I hadn't fully taken in how the mechanic works, the first thing you try and do is you go, okay, let's clear out the stuff, and let's go and pick up this bottle, and then you're like, oh, okay, now I'm stuck. particularly if, like, so I was at this point, I'm pretty sure I was thinking of it as like a snake. I don't think I even realized you could pass back over the slime that you were leaving behind. So I was doing something like this and going like that and going, oh no, I'm stuck. But the trick is that you can walk back over your trail and go back through the way you came in the first place, so you're not blocking the other passage, and then you can get through to the exit. Woohoo! And all roads into Roblox. So this is definitely the level that made me go, okay, I actually have to try and understand this. I can't just keep pushing my way through this without properly understanding it. So I actually wonder if there are multiple ways to this. I know there's a way that I always end up doing it, but like, okay, so the way I always end up doing it is I clear this, and I clear this top row, and I grab this bottle. That allows me to get down to this bottle. And then you could, if you just went straight across and grabbed this bottle, you'd still be blocked, so you have to go and unblock that as well. That, and we can get to the exit. However, I'm curious, if I do something like this, so I can get to that other bottle. No, I can't get to the other bottle because I'm leaving a block there. Yeah, that's probably the way to do it. Yeah, because there's no way, if I pick up one of these two bottom bottles, I'm going to be leaving some slime somewhere that would block my way out. So yeah, I think this is the proper way. Obviously it's symmetrical, so I could do the other way around, but this is the way I do it. Is it symmetrical? Yes. I wasn't sure if... okay. I wasn't sure if the bottle was like in the same position as I start or not, and it is. Research funding. I can't let a coin go to waste. Oh yeah, so one of the, you can't really see it so originally when I was playing it, not originally, like when I got the game and I was playing it at that time, some of the levels started with you being the slime immediately. But then one of the fun things in me adding the animation was that, so when you enter the level, there's the falling animation, as you falling into the level, and it makes sense if you leave the level, if you always leave the level as a human. Oh, that's a good point. The exit is not, you can't get to it as the slime, you have to be the human. So if you're leaving the level as a human, it makes sense to be coming into the next level as a human as well. And the nice thing about the falling animation is I could basically just do the falling human, and then they turn into the normal player object, but they interact with a bottle that's immediately there. Like, so the way those levels, like this one, were originally set up was it was just immediately configured to have the slime there, no bottle, nothing. But with the falling, there's a falling human. They turn into like the normal player human object. They interact with the bottle that's there, and they turn into the slime, which just makes it more consistent with the rest of it, right? You always start as a human, even if you immediately get turned into a slime. So this one, yeah, like, I mean, you could go here and just grab the bottle, but then, oh yeah, so this is the first one that's teaching you. You need to be careful not to assume mechanics being known. This is the one that teaches you about coins. There's this trapdoor here, and I can't go through it. If this were any other level, I'd just be able to go through this, but I can't, because you have to get all the coins. So the trick here is that you need to leave a path to get to the coin. And if you have to cover the coins, well, that would be bad, because now that coin's got slime in it and you can't walk on slime. So you need to avoid covering it, but you also need to hit all the existing slime so that it disappears, so that you can get through and reach the coin, and then go back up this way. This is similar to that previous level where you need to make sure you go back out the way you came in, so there's a path through. And then we can grab all the coins. Very exciting. Whee! Oh yeah, one of the nice details about the exit animation is that there's a slightly different animation depending on which way you're facing. Originally I had it so that the player they'd always be facing the same way in the animation, but it just looked weird, like they suddenly turned around. So I added 4 different animations. I guess for the last couple of frames though, they're basically identical. Yeah, so Here's another one involving coins. I mean, it's weird doing these puzzles knowing the solutions. Like, I do remember spending a little bit of time trying to figure this out. Like, how do I get the bottle and be able to get through? The trick is that, well, you need to avoid enclosing stuff, right? And so using this slime that's in the middle helps with that, because that makes a gap that you could walk through later. And from here, I can basically go up and grab the bottle, and I can reach all of the coins. Hooray! One of the details I really like that was added after me is the kind of dashed border around the level. I think it was just the grey line before. In fact, I think the corners weren't filled in, and I remember thinking that looks a bit weird. But now they are, and there's a dashed line. It looks really nice. Also, the little animations with bumping are really nice as well. There's like quite a few frames, I think. Like 3 frames, 4 frames. So this is a tiny little level, just forcing you to understand not how you avoid blocking your path. How does it work here? I guess I need to... Oh yeah, the interesting thing about this one is you could think like, well, if I grab the bottle, I'm stuck, right? Like, how would I get through? But you can obviously walk over the exit while it's not... You can just walk over it while you're a human. So if I open up that, grab this bottle, grab that coin, grab that, clear this out of the way, grab that bottle, grab that coin, and leave. Cool. Yeah, again, I know how I always come to solve these. It's like this. A similar thing, like just reiterating that mechanic, which is very useful, like how to avoid drawing a path that will block you from getting all the coins. Just getting slightly more complicated each time. Okay, this one introduces something new, which is these X spaces. Basically, the way that works is that you have no effects on those spaces, that you don't leave slime there, or you don't remove slime from there. So walking over that space does not affect it, which is definitely interesting. It's definitely one of the mechanics that feels a little like abstract. Like, I guess it's all fairly abstract, but like there's a kind of intuition to the slime, sort of, not really. Like, what? But I guess it's like, at least you're a little monster leaving slime. But what are these X's? Why are they preventing me from leaving slime and doing stuff? Is it like a net? Maybe it's a net covering the stuff. That's what I'm going to go with. That's the new canon. It's a net covering the stuff, and I'm climbing on top of the net. So yeah, this is about, again, making a path that will allow you to get back from the bottle to the coins. So I have to clear these out of the way. And I've cleared that stuff up there to let me through as well. There we go. Lovely. Oh, okay, this one's a tricky one, actually. This is one I have to solve every time. I do not remember the solution at all. This is like, again, it's the same premise. It's like I need to be able to pick up that bottle and then collect all the coins afterwards. And all of the coins around the outside, there's the 2 in the middle that aren't, but there are all the ones around the outside have got slime on them. So I have to touch them at some point. But without making it impossible to get to the others. So this one's interesting. How do I get to that? Do I get to it, the one that's on the right of me? Do I get to it from this angle? No, I can't get to it from this angle because... Oh no, I could if I did that. But then I'd have to go and touch I can't go and touch it from this side because then I'd block that in. Can I touch it from this side? Again? No, because that's going to block that in, and there's no way to avoid that. So I think this one is like this, and I actually unblock that there. And then when I do this, I have access to these. Okay, cool. So then I need to go and touch that one, but without blocking this path off. So, okay, so that's going to be the gate there. That lets me get down to the bottom. I can touch that, so that's open. Now to get to this one, is that okay? It's probably okay. So the next bit, so if I pick that up now, I can get to all of those, get to this one. It's basically just that one I need to sort out without blocking that top one still. So how does that work? Oh, that works. Right, again, you have to use the fact that you can walk across the thing. I do remember when I was doing this, I was like, wait, I'm gonna hit that, and somehow, like, no matter how I go up here, I end up blocking the path through to that top coin. But no, if you use the fact that the trapdoor is there, you can do that. I think I'm done. Yes. Yay. It's neat. I wonder what the shape's about. I remember thinking of that at the start. I guess it's a... Is it totally rotationally symmetric? Except the walls in the middle, I think it is. But then there's a little tail up at the top right. What's that all about? Is it meant to be like slime shaped or something? Ooh, yeah, okay. This one's a nice one to logic out as well. So you're forced. So this is maybe the first one so far where we've had to. There's actually 4 bottles in total, like assuming I've picked one up already. So I'm going to be converting back and forth between them. And by the end of it, and like, so obviously if I just go straight down to this bottom one, I get stuck. So I'm going to this top one and then picking up the next one and go through here, which means I can't pick up any coins in between those two. Like when I'm a human there's no chance to pick up coins. So I need to make it so that all the coins are available at the end, which means at this point, there needs to be a complete path of slime to the other bottle so that I can clear it all out without covering any of the existing coins. Like right now, I could follow this along, but then I'd have to cover this, which is going to block that coin afterwards. So I need to do this bit differently. So I at least need to... I don't need to hit every coin. I just need to leave a path. Does this leave a path? It leaves a path around the edge, right? Yes. So now I can do this. Hit every coin. Grab this, and they're all clear. Cool. Woohoo! Whee! Great. The lab can now afford some advanced equipment, like crates. Also, just the falling and the landing is also just funny. It wasn't like the exit was never a trapdoor. I just saw the green square and I was like, I mean, how can I make this an animation? Maybe I make them vanish or like somehow teleport out of there. And I was like, well, what if it just opened up and we fell? And also it adds an interesting aspect to the story in some way. Like, are we falling down through some sequence of laboratories or something? Who knows? Okay, so this one adds a new mechanic. The boxes. Of course, every Pokemon game has to have boxes at some point. So you can only push them as... This bit's teaching you that you can only push them as the slime. But right now, I cannot push that box. It's weird that there's... I've only just noticed that, but there's no animation for bumping against the box. Probably could do with one. But you turn to slime, you can push it. And... Oh yeah, that's another interesting thing. At first I was unsure about this, but it actually adds so much to the like gameplay potential. But like the fact that when you push a box, the box pushes as a move, and then you move. And then the box pushes, so you're always shoving it away from you instead of moving with it. And the next thing it teaches you is that if you push a box into a bottle, that triggers the bottle. Somehow you're drinking the bottle with the box. I don't know how that works. But it does. And in theory, I do this. Oh, the other thing is that when you push the box into the bottle, it clears the space you're in. So that doesn't stay as slime, which is pretty interesting. That adds a lot of puzzle potential later. Okay, so this one is a cool one. This teaches a new thing. So like if you come into this completely new, like not knowing anything, you'd be like, okay, well, I need to clear this space And then, I don't know, well, what's the box for? Am I pushing it into the bottle? But then that's blocked. How do I go through here? How do I clear this route, grab the bottle, and still be able to get through? The trick is that, which I ended up just finding by fumbling around, and I quite like that in the mechanic. I quite like it when it's like you come across a puzzle and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. It turns out there's some special thing you can do that you didn't know. But if you push a box over existing slime trail, it slides across it, which is super cool. But it doesn't do that if I push it into the existing slime. It just like pushes over it. But what this allows us to do is set up a trail like that and push this back over to hit the bottle, which is super neat. And let's just get to the exit. Oh man, so this level, this is the first one I got really stuck on. And it's too bad that I remember the solution because it's going to make it look really easy, but this is, as far as I've seen from like people's comments about the game, this is really where people get stuck. I'll show you a little bit of the kind of things you end up trying. Because like what you want to do is get this bottle and leave. But obviously you realize, oh, so I must have to push the box over there. So you do that. You're like, well, I've made a path that I can't get back through. So then you try a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, well, maybe I try this. But you can already see I'm blocking this path out. Especially if you're not super comfortable with all the mechanics so far. It might not be obvious that you're like doing something wrong at this point. You're still trying stuff out. You get there, you're like, oh, it's still blocked. And so then you start thinking about, well, how do I avoid blocking the way out? I need to leave some kind of passage, but now to get to the top of the box, I have to go that way. I'm sort of just pretending here, pretending the kind of things that I tried before. It's like, okay, we still have a passage out, that's good. But now it's just going to slide down to the bottom. Now what? The actual solution is that you do this. You fill that space in so that the slime going all the way to the thing. So this is the thing that's the most difficult thing to grasp here, is that you need to actually come all the way down to the bottom and do a loop around like this. And push this to the left. And push it down. And then push it left. And then you can get to the exit. Yeah, if you just don't use that bottom space, which I think is the thing that people don't do when they get stuck. If you don't use this bottom space, you always end up blocking your route back or getting the box stuck at the bottom, which is really cool. I think the comment next to this level said it would be a cute, easy level or something like that, and then it's the one most people get stuck on, which is pretty funny. I could see how in making it, you could think it was probably quite a simple level. But it turns out if there's like a lot of options, people won't see it. Okay, this one's new to me. I realize I'm sort of revealing a little bit about who did what when. Well, not who, but when things happened. I don't know if that's meant to be a little bit secret, but I guess I'm not revealing too much detail. I also think that information is pretty easily available too. Okay, I've not done this one. So I want to get the bottle from within the coins. So I don't want to touch the coins, so I'm not grabbing the bottle myself. I'm definitely pushing the box over there, which makes sense. Why would there be a box otherwise? So I basically need to get the box over to that side. I can't form a continuous slime trail that isn't against the wall, so I'm definitely pushing it bit by bit. I also need to make sure there's still a path back afterwards, but I can still go to the edge as long as I have to bring that back down though, so that is a problem. What if I push it to the side immediately? So then I don't have to actually go to that bottom edge at all. Why do I want that? Let's keep pushing you? Yeah, in fact, that's good. Then never go to the bottom edge. Keep pushing you like this. Do I want to keep pushing you? One thing I definitely don't want to do is close off that gap to those coins. Maybe that's okay. How do I do this? I don't want to close this off. Am I going to end up walking back over the trapdoor? That's possible. To get these. Or can I get it from here? Let's go back a little bit. What if I push you down from there, then... Okay, at this point I can leave trail. There we go. There we go. We're done. Cool. That was neat. It's one of those ones where I'm not sure if there's like many solutions to that or not. Like, did I get what was intended? Some of the puzzles are super obvious that the thing you've done is like the only way of doing it. But that was one of those ones where it's not totally clear. Because I think it's when you sort of push your way through a solution that then it's not super clear, unless you know that you've explored like every option. Anyway, so here, so this one is really good. I love this one. So this is like, there's a wall. I can't remember the. Oh, okay. So this one introduces a trick that might not be super obvious. So obviously, when you're the slime, you can't go on the exit. However, you can push the block on the exit, which is the trick here. Because if you try and do it any other way, like just try and get the block down to the thing, you realize, well, how am I supposed to push it down at all? Like, it's like an impossibility. And there's that, you have that fun experience at the beginning of this puzzle where you're like, this level's impossible. But once you know the trick, it's easier, or is it? I don't know if I can remember how to do it. Wait, so I just do this, push that onto there, and I can push it from above. But I do need to leave some slime there so it slides. Such a neat little trick, but I also need to be able to get to the coin. Do I need to clear that out of the way? Is that it? No, I'm very stuck. How do I... I would still be stuck. Oh no, I'm not still... Okay, I can do that. That works. Wait. Cool level. So this one, I think, ended up being slightly broken, although I still like it as a puzzle. I think it was broken when I first played it as well. I think it originally relied on what somebody ended up interpreting as a bug. So that's one of the issues with these collaborative projects, is that like you could, in theory, mess up somebody's puzzle. If you like tweak the rules slightly or something, but in theory, most rule changes should be non-breaking changes, but occasionally somebody will go, oh, this seems like a bug, but it turns out that was actually critical to the puzzle. Although in this case, I think the bug that it relied on was definitely felt weird. It was something like a slime would appear in the place where the box was when you pushed it or something like that. Anyway, my solution to this is actually, I think, the intended solution anyway, even when the bug was in place. If I can remember what it is like. Is it just like this? Push that in there and then push that to there. Does that work? That works. Okay, cool. I think there's some easier solution, but that's what I've ended up doing every time. Like now that the bug's not there, I think there's an easier solution. Oh, this one's going to be tricky. I don't remember it. Okay, so this is a double change. We've got 4 bottles, so we're changing twice. I don't want to pick this one up first because I'm stuck. I do want to pick up one of these two. Okay, and it's symmetrical, so either of them will do. At some point I need to hit these coins so that they're clear, but it's on the first one or the second one, I'm not sure. I also need to go through here. There's going to be some box pushing. But I don't want to push the box immediately because then I'm covering the coin. So I guess I want to push the box once and then back again. So if I grab this and block from coming out, but if I go here and push this, I clear that space and can come through. Can I finish this from here or not? Can I? No. No. Yes, because I can walk across the... I can walk across here, but then those coins are blocked in. How does this work? I have have to hit it at some point. Maybe I'm supposed to hit those earlier. So let's now do this thing again. Not grab that one, grab this one. Now can I do it? Because now I just need to clear that stuff. Yes, okay, so grab that coin. Ooh, yeah, clear that. Grab this. Grab the coins. And we've got a million exits. Okay, there are plenty of levels that have lots of exits in them. I guess because they have a dual purpose, they also work as a slime-only barrier, which is really cool. There's lots of really nice things in this game. Like, the blocks work as a human-only barrier. The exit works as a slime-only barrier, which is really neat. Okay, this one is a tough one. Can I remember how it works? I remember it's a very fiddly one where you have to push the block around in a bunch of different directions. So, obviously, I'm also coming at these with at least the thought processes that you need to solve these kinds of things. Whereas when I originally played it, I was definitely stuck on this for a while, and maybe I will be again. So I at least know that I'm not going to be touching any of these coins, but I am going to be touching that one, which is interesting because that's in the middle. So that means I have to go through another coin to get there. However, if that other coin is where I push the box from, like if that, I'm just going to use this as an example. If that were there, and let's say I haven't actually covered that one up yet. Let's pretend that's still available, and I go through like this, and I push this down. The space that I'm in clears when I turn human, so I can grab all those. So it's sort of like that, and it's going to be. So that means I'm going to be touching almost certainly that one, right? And the middle one. So they're all going to be clear. But now I need to get that box to that bottom space. How do I do that? Oh, okay. Got it. They're way easier once you've played the game in its entirety. There we go. Woohoo. Oh, okay. This one I always get stuck on. I think this one I might actually struggle with. So we've got the X's again. I thought that was interesting that they don't come up for a while. Like they get introduced and then suddenly they're not there. I don't think there was another level with them other than the introductory one. So this one's interesting because it makes you think, oh, I'm going to clear this path up here. So therefore, I'm going to do something like this. And how do I get over there without blocking something like the path back to this? Yep, it's like whatever. So eventually you realize that actually clearing this path is not the key here. Or it is. It is the key here. But I can't remember what it was. I remember having some thought process around like, maybe it was just around like, oh, I can't go through here like this because I end up filling this space in, and that's bad. In theory, you can unblock one of these if you've got like the box. I'm just like not going to care about stuff. I'm just going to push the box, not like that. You have to not have that one filled in. So something like this. You can clear that. So that's now a green X with no slime. And that I think is critical to this. Let me try and remember what the solution is. So I'm going to open up that path around there. So that's going to be how I get to this coin on the left, going back around that top bit. And I am going to push the box from this space so it clears it out. Okay, so it's just how do I get the box there? I can't really push that anywhere. I guess I'm going to avoid. In fact, I want to avoid going there because otherwise, if I do open this up as a kind of door through, then that would be blocking it. So I want to avoid that. How does this work? I'm going to have to clear that at some point as well. Do I want to slide you earlier? If I slide you up to that coin, does that help somehow? I guess you there. Was there any reason? Oof. That's just pushing it back. I can't go in that space because I'll block the path between the coins. I don't think this is good because I can't like recover this, can I? What if I actually don't do that one, but we push this way? No. What am I doing? I can't fill this space in, that's bad. Can I get the box all the way to that? Sure. Then I can push it that way. I can't bring it back down. Why would I want that? Oh wait, actually, no, let's do that again. Does that work? Yes, okay. Push it onto the coin, bring it down this way. Is that it? No, because I blocked that. No, okay. Hold on. So similar to that, but without blocking that. Let's do it from the beginning. Block that one. So don't want to block that. But I do want to get you up. Maybe like this. Problem is I can't push that anywhere now because that blocks everything. So maybe I don't fill this middle one in. How do I do this? Get you there. Get you there. Huh. So there's like two ways this path between these two coins could go. One is like this. Can I now move this around in some way that is useful? Push you over there. Wait, what if I don't go all the way around there? What if I actually just do this? There we go. That's different. That's different enough. I think that's it. So now I can push that to the left into that coin, push it down to that space, and I can push it left here, open the... Well, no, I blocked that thing. Oh, I didn't block the thing. I didn't open that thing. Okay. There we go. Hooray. Cool. This is new. I have not done this one. So yeah, that's another interesting thing about this kind of collaborative project is that people don't necessarily add their puzzles in order. I mean, towards the end of the game, so mine is, okay, so spoiler alert, my puzzle is the very last level. And designing puzzles for the end of the game is really, really hard because you want to do something new and interesting that isn't covered by all of the 35 puzzles before you. And it needs to be difficult and all that stuff. And so, like, trying to design a puzzle at that point is really difficult. And also, there's often cases where earlier in the game, with only a certain set of mechanics, like the ones we've got right now, there are potentially things that are unexplored. And so it's worth going back and putting a puzzle in the middle that explores that idea. So what do I want to do here? I want to get that box, which I can't get from any side except the other side. In which case I'm going all the way around because I've only got one bottle here. So that's happening. Curious. The other problem is if I do that, I'm going to be stuck. Well, no, because I've got the box. I can hit the bottom of the box. So basically I need to do this or something. Ooh, let's be careful. But without blocking the way to that coin. Oh dear. So maybe before we push you, we actually fill this in. Slime up to there. Slime me further. Slime you further. Okay, I think we can still access all of those. So yes, there is a path to all the coins, but I'm stuck here. So I sort of need to be somewhere else. Oh, I can't push that up now. Could do that. Go all the way around again. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. Neat. Not too difficult. The research has been very fruitful, but is it safe? These scanners measure how slimy I've become. So this is interesting. This adds a whole new mechanic. These red numbers down here. So originally, when I got the game, there were a few of these puzzles with this mechanic in, but they were in a weird order. So this one was I think this one was still first because it like kind of tutorialized it. So yeah, basically the number of slimes in the column or row with the thing with the number is what makes it highlight. So I want 4 slimes there and I want 3 here. And then only when they're all satisfied does the exit become available. If I don't satisfy them, the exit does not work. So like that. I think this one was here as well when I played it. I can't remember what order they were in, but I definitely shuffled them around a little bit, and I think other people did as well. So this is the first one that shows you that you can actually push them as blocks as well, and also that I think this level could potentially have found another way of making this clearer, because I think the problem I have with this level is that you can quite easily just like go through the level and not care about anything, and you've done it and you didn't think about what was going on. In fact, I'm now going to jump back to it. Whoops. Didn't mean to leave full screen. I have to leave full screen to get to the level select. Cool. Sure, we're back to it. Neat. Yeah. And so, but it's trying to show a couple of things. One, that you can push them, it does show that. But it's also showing that you, like, so that 4 has, in its column and row, it has 4 slimes. There's one above it, one below it, one to the left, and then all the way over here, there's one to the right. But the 3 blocks it. So now there's actually 5 in its row and column, but the 3 is blocking that view. So it still only sees 4, and the 3 only sees 3, because one below, one to the right, one to the left, but it doesn't see this one over here. They block each other, which is being shown, but I just think that you could possibly just go through that level without recognizing what it's trying to tell you, because it's too easy to just do the right thing. Like, it'd be good if it led you into if the obvious thing to do led you into an issue, and then you had to use the fact that they blocked each other to solve it. Anyway, so this one is pretty cool. It's like further tutorializing it, which is good, because I think a lot of people come across this mechanic and don't understand what's going on. But it's doing it in a way where it's like actually 4 interconnected puzzles all linked together. This one was definitely later on. This was after. So there's a puzzle coming up that is basically Picross or Picross. How do you say it? Picross, I guess, because you end up doing a little picture, don't you? It's very Picross-like. And that was very early. I remember being like, oh my gosh, suddenly the game's turned into a pen and paper puzzle. Like, why did that happen? But fortunately, these all got shuffled around and put in, so it feels like more of a gradual transition to that at some point. And it's not a permanent transition, it's just for like one puzzle. It's really like that. But yeah, I do remember thinking, wow, it's a very sudden change of mechanics. But it makes sense. There are people on the Thinky Puzzle Discord who are particularly fond of these kind of logical pen and paper puzzles. And so it would make sense that somebody might add them. And also at this point, the coins and boxes and whatever have probably been explored quite thoroughly, so why not add something new? And this is what we got. So yeah, so this is all about positioning. In this room, it's about positioning these so that you can draw the right path, and that's what I go with. There's probably lots of solutions here, because it means I can draw a path coming through here that won't be in any of the columns or rows as those zeros, but I can also do 3 on that column. I think the mistake I've often made before is putting the 3 there, thinking, oh, I just put 3 here, 1, 2, 3. But I've obviously come from this other room, so it's going to be at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can't put that there. It has to go into the next column. And the rest of them I can't move around, so it's just a case of drawing the right line. So 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 7, which is the rest of it. 1, 3, 2, 2. Then we do this 3, and then we get this 8 done by just going next to it. Then we don't block the exits, grab the thing, and we leave. Neat. This one I got stuck on. So this is also early. I can't remember what the order was when I got it, but I got super stuck on this originally because I completely didn't realize. I think it must have been before I'd been properly taught that you could push them around. I remember just coming into it and being like, wait, how do I draw 4 on all of this? Like, it's actually like fairly easy to draw 4, but then you're like totally stuck. Until I remember that you can push them around. I remember getting stuck for like 5 minutes, not remembering that I could push them. It can't be 5 minutes, there's not many options. I think I got stuck doing some other stuff as well. I was like trying to push them to different places and seeing how that helped. I don't think this works. I think this is bad. But maybe it's doable, like to be able to satisfy, no. But something that does work is this at least. It's a fun little shape as well. I don't know if that's the intended shape to make, but it works. Oh, this is one I get stuck on a lot. Okay. This is a double change one. So this is the first double change with numbers, I think. Yeah, these were in a completely different order earlier. So there's a coin at the bottom that I need to get to at some point. If I were to just like come across here and grab that, I can get through, I can get that coin. That's still covered. Okay, then we're going to have a problem, right? Which is that if I go through here, then I can get to the exit, it's just that the numbers aren't done. So is that the order I go to them? And I just have to somehow... I definitely don't want to cover this coin, right? I mean, I could. I just uncover it with the next one, although I can't get to either of them now, so no. Well, unless I cover it and then grab this one. Doesn't feel great. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be grabbing... Oh, no, that works. Okay, how do we do it? Oh yeah, also there's this stuff in the middle that also blocks the numbers from seeing slime. Like the red wall. Wait, that's not pushable, right? I don't remember. So those are pushable, which makes this interesting. There's this 2 that I can push around. Do I can't remember what I do here. Do I want to do that, or do I do that at the end? That's quite a good place to put the 2. No, it's not. It kind of is. But these 2 are not good to have like at this point. Because if I grab this, I can't get back out. So let's say I start with these. What would I need to do now? To make sure there's 2 there. There are now 2. Yes, because I've cleared the one on the left. I don't want to clear the ones on the top. But I do want to clear that one so that I can make this a 2. This a 1. But then I'm going to hit this one twice. But I can do that. Okay. I did it. I feel like that's totally not what I did last time. I think that's a completely different solution. I remember moving the 2 last time. But whatever, that works. Okay, so now we have one where there's 2 slimes at the same time. And the fun thing is, so when I was adding the animation for falling into the level, I made it so that only one of them animates in, because like, otherwise there's discontinuity. It's like, well, suddenly there's 2 people falling in. Why would that be? And the thing that I found quite funny about that is that it adds a little weird eeriness to the story. Like, so we're falling through all these labs, and then at this one random floor, there's another slime. Why is there another slime? Is it somebody like me? Why are they trapped? So yeah, I thought that was quite fun. This is a fun little level. So the way it works is, so that slime wants to cover those numbers, which it's done already, the slime on the left. And on this side, what do we want to do? What's the issue? We need to, what is the issue? How do we do this? Well, obviously that's no good, but at some point I'm going to pick that up. Okay, so I basically want to push from here, I want to push a crate up to hit that. The difficulty is that there's a slime here, so we have to push it all the way around. I remember this being a bit of a repetitive motion. And then the other interesting thing is that you have to do that without messing up the numbers on the left. So the nicest way to do that is to just get in that room and block yourself in, because this slime has nothing else to do, and now they're blocked in, which is great. So I think we just like push these around like this. So this is the one level where the animations are slightly annoying because it blocks you from moving until, okay, that's not right. How does this work again? Oh, yeah, so I think gradually you want to block, okay. So then you take this one and use the other block to stop this one from going too far, and then you repeat that. Oh, I messed up the numbers completely. Don't forget about the numbers. Okay, like that. There we go. But I don't want to. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's not fine. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, the animation would be nice to not be happening in this one. Okay, so now that one's there, and then we bring the other one around, and gradually we get closer and closer to where we need it, which is a fun little trick. Okay, this is the one. Ta-da! Cool. Oh, so I have seen this one, I just don't remember how you do it. I remember it being tricky. I remember it being super tricky, actually. So there's 2 numbers, we have to hit them both. But we also have to uncover that coin and get the... Oh, but we also need to not hit them again. So obviously, so yeah, if I grab this and then hit this immediately, we have a problem, because I can't like... Well, unless I go around this way. But then I'm going to be hitting that twice. No, not necessarily, unless I do that. But then how do I get the box without triggering the 1 to change back to red? Because suddenly it's got more. So no, I think what happens, because I've got to work around this box, I don't want to hit this one immediately. I want to hit this one only. And I want to try and get the box somewhere without adding more than 1 slime, which is doable like this, but I'd have to add slime to the other side, right? Because to push the box any further, I'd have to go like this. And then suddenly there's 2 slime there. But if I were to add slime over here, the box would just fly across. Then I can operate over here without worrying about stuff. However, how do I want to do that? Could do that. I don't want to block the way out. That's the other thing. I think what I want is to be able to push the block to this column, which means doing something like... how to do it? Like that. Still get that coin from the top. Okay, that works. Are we good? We're good. Okay, that took me so much longer last time. Whew. Oh, I love this one. This one's cool. It's simple, but just the idea is fun. Like there's a bunch of boxes up here that we can shuffle around, and there's a bunch of them down here that we can't shuffle around. And they've also got separate numbers on. And so what you can do, because these are completely shuffleable, except the one can't move because it's against the wall. As in, it can't change which column it's in. It's stuck in that first column. So basically, we have to come up with some set of lines, horizontal lines in here that match the 1, 2, 5, 4, 3 in the bottom area, and then rearrange the ones in the top area to match. So I need to make sure I only ever hit one space on the left, which means it has to be the 5 row that does it, because the 5 needs all of them filled in. And then we've got 4. So that has to be these ones because we don't want to add an extra one to the left. And then 3, okay. The problem is you can't move the boxes around until you're a human. At that point it's too late, so you have to move them first. So I just revert what I did. So this is, the first column is a 1, second column is 3, then 5, then 4, then 2. So 1, 3, 5, 4, 2. And then we reset. We go set that up. 1, 3, 5, 4, 2. 1, 3, 5, 4, 2. Let's line them up just so it's nice. So it's like this, 5, 4, 3, and they're all satisfied. Yay. Okay, so I think this was the original one, the original puzzle that added this mechanic, and this was very early in the set of number puzzles, and it was very overwhelming because you're like, oh my gosh, suddenly, like, there's like, I think even originally, we've talked about this a bit on the Discord, I don't think this puzzle had any boxes in it as well. So originally there was no boxes, it was just drawing a line, so it was practically, for all intents and purposes, was just a pen and paper puzzle. And so you suddenly hit with that after all the box pushing puzzles. You're like, wait, what? The game's suddenly changed. I still like the puzzle. It was just very like jarring when it was one of the earliest number puzzles. So okay, I remember this can all be like logically worked out. So how many rows and columns are there? There's 9. Cool. And there is a 9 here, so that's all going to be filled in, which is nice. And that's got 1 in it, so we never do anything else in that row. So that means what does that mean? We've also got 2 2s here as well, which could be filled in like that. Is there an issue with that at all? Okay, so the next column over is an 8, which means that actually one of these two needs to be filled in. So that means actually that these can't be like this. So, okay, so we know that crosses there and the 1 is now satisfied. So we can't ever cross this space again down here where the 1 is, the column with the 1 in it. So that means we're not coming back around here and filling that in to make 2. Well, I mean, it would make way more than 2 anyway. But like, so that means this one has to be like this. And because of the fact that the 8's there, we have to fill that in. So that has to be that too. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, where do we go up from here? We don't want to go to this space. We do want to go to potentially one of these 2, potentially even 3 of them. Let's just do 1 for now. Let's fill the 9 in and see what we can work out from there. So there's a 3. So there needs to be 1 more for that. There's another 8 at the top. Okay, there's another 8 at the top, but it can't overlap with the 1. So there's going to be 3 on this. Okay, so basically I need to make some shapes up this side, like in this area, this square, rectangle, without going back across here. Okay, so can I do that? That's the question. Well, the 8, I'm going to be filling that in. Okay, so that's known. That's known because of the 8. Okay. The 8 on the left, I mean. Okay, maybe this is fine so far. So now there's this right-hand half of the whole thing. None of them I've done too many on, right? Like it could just be that the rest of these numbers are satisfied over here. The 2 on the end is interesting, the rightmost 2, because there's definitely going to be one from me going into the... Oh, there's one from here, there's one from me going to the thing. So, okay, so no more are going to be in this column. Okay, so what do I want? How do I do it? Satisfy the 2. With 5 and 5. Okay, so the 5s are interesting because I've already got 1. But there's also, I still need to satisfy this 5 as well. But not in that column, not in that column, not in this column. Okay. So I think it has to be like possibly these 3. So that's for the 4. Now the 3 is not satisfied. Ooh, okay. How to work out this bit. So we need to check the numbers on the left as well. So there's only going to be one more in this column. Where should that be? That should not be in this one. It could be in the 5, the 4, the 5, or the 5. It's probably in the 5. This is not me being very logical about this, but... Okay. The other thing about these 5s is they're not going to be like this, right? Because I can't get to the top anymore. So it's going to be something like that. But I've probably broken something at this point. Have I? I might not have done actually. The 2 is done. Have I broken anything? I've broken the 2. Okay. The 2 on the second row. So we can't put 2 things in that column. That works. Why is that 5 not satisfied? Because it needs 1 more. We have a problem. So wait, for that 5 to be satisfied, it needs to be these 4. Okay, in which ways we don't go... Let's do these 4. Which way do we go up? Maybe on the 4. But I need to go back across the 4 to do the 5. 2. I have to keep going. I need to do 2 more on this row. That's bad, because that means I can't get to the top. So that 5 that I'm currently under needs only 1 more. That 4's got too many. That 5's got too many. Do I use this now? I can't get back across. I've done way too many for the 4 as well. There's no other way of me satisfying this 5. I do need to do these 4, don't I? Because I can't have an extra one here. I need that for the exit. I can't have an extra one there because it's a 1. In theory, could I have had a 1 here? If I didn't go and do that 3 up at the top. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's bring this back. How much walking around did I do? I think I did a lot of walking around. Come on. There we go. So in fact, I could do this here. Then I only actually have to put 3 down here. So maybe those 3. I use the 5. Because now I can get to the top. Yes, okay. I can finish the 4 somehow. Can I finish the 4? Yes. Oh no, I have to do that 3 at the top. Okay, because the 8. Ah. So no. We'll go back to this. I have to do this 3 because of the 8. So no, these are here. I just need to figure out how I get up to the top. The 4 is done. But if the 4 is done, I can't get back across it, so that's bad. I could do that. Can't end up with more than 4 in there, so I'm stuck at that point. I've got way more than 4 in that column now. Okay, let's work on one of the 5s. I don't want to fill in the 5 completely. And I also need to be able to go over that way. Or do I? Because I could go this way instead, but not there, I can't. No, I do need to go that way. Okay, so I need at most 4 in this column. Then how do I do the 5? So that's 4. That's too many at that point. That's too many at that point. Can't make 5 yet. So that the 5 that I'm under still needs 1 more. But now that's way too many. That's 4. But no, I need to fill both those 2 in. Okay, so hold on, let's think about this. Let's think about it a bit more. I know the top row is going to be filled with an 8, but just the only one that's not going to be filled is the column that's got a 1 at the top of it. Therefore, these 3 5s that I'm under only need 2 more each. Yes, and the 4 only needs 1 more each. One more each. There's only 1 4. Why did I say it like that? So the 4. So I need to somehow get to the top. How does this work? Pretty sure the left half is necessarily like that, which means these 4 are necessarily like this, because I have to make 5. I can't do it there, can't do it there, do it there, can't do it there. So it's these 4. The top row is going to be filled in, except the 1. The top row is going to be filled in. The 2 is already sorted, so I'm working in these 4 columns only. I need to get to the top row without having completed them all. How on earth do I do that? I quite like the boxes being in this puzzle because it does make me think, wait, how do I get the boxes out of the way to be able to do what I need to do? Can't do that. In theory, I don't just make a single path going up though, do I? Ooh. The 4 is satisfied too early. I can only put 1 in that path, which means, okay, if I'm only putting 1 in that path, it's either like down here or I'm sticking out a little bit on the way up. Okay. So I think what it means is something this, going up this way, finishing the 4, finishing the 5. So way too many on that row now. It's a 2. It's a 2. 5 is done. 1. 5 is done. 5 is done. Don't want the 5s to be done. I want to finish them at the top. How is this so difficult? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. How could this be slightly different? Ooh. So that's got 1 too many in it. Yeah, I think the problem is that I'm not using this space enough, this column. So let's do that, and let's go, but I know these have to be filled in, right? So let's not avoid that. I do know that, yes. So then I can't go up at this point because I need to go along the top row at some point. So I'm going to go this way. That 4 is now done. This 5, I might be on the right lines here. There we go. Yes. Oh, okay. Deary me. Oh no, this is new. And it looks similar. Oh, dearie me. Okay. Are any of those movable? They're not movable. Okay. So it's yet another just solve the constraints. None of them can be pushed, I don't think. No. Okay, so it's make the constraints, get to the other bottle, but also do the coins. Okay, this is cool. It's like mixing the previous one up with the coin mechanic. And some of them are in the middle. So that 7 needs 7, obviously. 8 needs 8. Where I pick up the bottle isn't going to be 1, so the 8 on its row will at most have 6. But there's so many places they could all go. Because now it's like, with the ones that are inside, it's not just a single row or a single column, it's both a row and a column. I guess for the ones that are slightly outside, those are the ones that will help a lot. So the 7 that's sticking out on the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 spaces. So 2 of them will be empty. But which 2? Could be like that. So I need to get to this, satisfying all the things, grab all the coins, and then leave. Whew. How to even think about this? Oh, yeah, okay, I need to remember that they block each other as well. So actually, let's think about that. So this 5 that's above me, not the one to the right of me, but the one that's slightly above me, has actually only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces that could be filled in. Okay. One of them is guaranteed. It's the one that the bottle's in. And then, are there any that are forced? So that 3 has only 4 spaces. That's kind of cool. And so hold on, hopefully my cursor's visible. If I hit this exit bottle from the right, then I'll be leaving 1 for that one and also for that 4. If I hit from the top, I won't be leaving 1, so we could leave 1 at some other point if we wanted to. Like here, could just drop 1 there and then put nothing else in that top row. The 2 is going to have 2 forced. But if the 7's going to have all like only 2 spaces left open, then like let's say the 2 were here and here, I wouldn't be able to leave a passage to this coin, except maybe around that way. Oh, but then I wouldn't be able to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I wouldn't be able to do the 8. Okay. So yes, these are not like that and that, the 2. So most probable is that, I guess either it's like 2 like this, 2 like this, or these 2. Most probable is going around the outside, I think. So I kind of like what I did the first time with this. Then, okay, let's just play with this. Let's say I am, ooh, okay, so I've already set aside that 4 at that point. But I could do this. Oh, that could be how I end. Let's say that's what I'm doing. The 8 currently already has 6. This 5 needs more, which could be that. Now that's satisfied. That 5 is not. Now it is. The 3 is not. The 7 is satisfied already. That's interesting. What if I basically I want to go around here and finish this 3 off. Wait. Oh wait, I can finish the 3 off. Yeah, no I can't. Not quite. Also that's too many for the 5. So maybe I want to go this way. Okay, the 7's done. That's not, I don't want the 7 to be done though. That's annoying. How do I avoid the 7 being done? I can't really. Yes, I can, like that. Now this 5's done, and the 7's done, and the 8's done all at the same time. The 4's done, the 3's done. Am I done? I think that works. Yay. Okay, that was cool. So that, easier than I was expecting, but still tough. Okay, so now this one. This one I've done before and I really like it because it's such a simple setup. It's actually really difficult to do because you need to, in some way, make a line that satisfies these boxes as you leave. However, this is the first one where you have an opportunity to push these boxes around afterwards. So you want to make a line that you can afterwards arrange the boxes to match all the things. However, I completely remember the solution. So it is, what is it? Oh yeah, the other thing is that if you go manually touch the bottle, then that's a problem because these boxes are stuck. And if you do this, that's kind of fine, except they're still very stuck, aren't they? So what you do is you do this, and then the key thing is to leave at least there needs to be at least 3 rows or columns that have only one thing in them. So the way I can do that here is in this column is by just having that one as a bridge here, and then I can take this down. So this is part of it. That ends up leaving this row with only 1 in it, which is good. So then we just need one other row or column with only 1 thing in it, which could be this one. Stick that up at the top. I think that's it. I think now it's possible to push these around in such a way that they end up being where they need to be, which is like this. I think that's done. No? What's wrong here? Oh, that one needs to be against the wall. Ta-da! That's a really cool puzzle. That room again, but what happened here? Who broke the wall? And why do I have the strange feeling that I've already been in the other room behind the broken wall? Okay, so this is the the one where there were two slimes again. Okay, now how do I interpret this story? I've already been on the other side. Am I the other slime? Or... Wait, what's happened? Have we switched character? I don't know. Maybe there's some other interpretation of the story that makes sense here. What am I even trying to do? Just get to the exit. Okay. I guess, so this one's just like a cutscene type thing. It's like, I guess to add some more interesting story to the double slime route. Okay, man, this one's hard. This one is the one before mine, so we're almost done. So... okay, I remember the trick, because the trick is actually similar to the trick in mine. And in fact, this is the one puzzle that I hadn't done before I designed my puzzle, and we ended up using the same trick. So, like, at this point in the game, when you're trying to make a puzzle for the end, you're really looking for, like, final interesting things you can like squeeze out of the mechanics that haven't been touched yet. And it turns out we ended up touching on the same thing, but in different ways, which is kind of fun. So it also makes it cool that these two levels are next to each other, because they both touch on the same interesting thing, kind of, but then build other stuff around it. So it makes sense that they're together. They're both pretty tough. I think people have said that maybe mine should have been before this one. I think in mine it's a bit easier to realize that you have to do the weird, interesting thing. So yeah, when I was designing my puzzle, I felt like I was totally scraping the bottom of the barrel for stuff to find, until I came across the little interesting interaction that I thought was actually pretty interesting for a puzzle. So this one's set up so that you're like, oh, okay, there's a bunch of numbers here that I have to rearrange in some way, right? Because that's why they're sticking out, so I can push them around and rearrange them. And you quickly realize the 5 is forced because it's against the wall, but the others ones, maybe there's one where we just don't want a 1 there at all, or a couple of them where we don't want a 1. And then you mess around with that and you try and like come up with a line. It's also a double switch one. So you try and come up with a line that you can do through here that allows you to get access to the coins. And then, yeah, this is complicated. This is a super complicated puzzle. Well, let's do that at least, but how do I get to the coins and so on? Problem is I can't recreate the entire process of doing it, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the real solution. So, yeah, the 5 is forced, and all these are here, but what you could do is bring the number out, place it over a bottle. Which now means, what effect does that have? That has the effect of, I can grab this, and I can then push a box back to the left, and it doesn't hit the bottle. Which is particularly interesting. Why is that particularly interesting? I can't remember. So that means I can actually go over here and do... how does this work? How does this work? So I guess we end up doing this. Grabbing this. But I also want to grab that other coin. Okay, I don't remember this entirely, so... we do this. Okay, I still can't get to that coin though. I don't want to push that against that wall. Does it matter that I can't get to the coin? Maybe it doesn't. I do remember the trick. I remember the trick being that that's there. Obviously I can't push that any further because the box is in the way, and I can't push the box while I'm the slime. I guess that I should have mentioned that that's been established already in the previous puzzle. So I can't pick that up. Then I can go here and push this off. Does this do everything? Problem is at this point I'm stuck on this side again. So now I use... Oh, how does this work? Oh, I think what I want to do is I do that, and then I can use this to clear a passage and get through, but I don't have the coin. Then I can do that, and then I'm on, at least on this side where the exit is. But I need to hook up both the coins. Okay, hold on. How do I do this? I'm pretty sure those can just go in. Maybe. And then this comes out. Grab this. So that just gives me a way of being on this side of the barrier at the end. Because I can slide the box along. I need to leave a passage. How? Well, I guess if I grab that bottle, then I'm fine. Yeah, okay. Yes. Yes. So grab that bottle, then I can get both the coins. I can do this. Now I have to set the numbers up, alright. Oh no, I don't want to do that yet. I want to sort this out. I think I can put you in position right at the end. So I need to get the numbers right. So 1, 5. Okay, 1. Oh, there's a 3 there. Why is there a 3 there? I don't want that 3 to be there. I want the 3 to be somewhere else. Okay, that's... Oh yeah, that's another thing I can do. I can slide the 3 around. I think I want the 3 to be... possibly... there? I don't remember exactly. Something like that. It's easy to get ones in that middle corridor. Okay, is this doable? So let me get this bottle, grab both the coins, push the number off there. Now I can do this. Problem is, how do I get... yeah, I can get 3 in there. Okay. That's 1. The 0 is not going to be happy. Oh, it is, because I'm going to push that like that. And then I need to push this somewhere that makes a 1. Do I have anywhere? Do I have anywhere? I guess I could push it... No, there's nowhere up there. I can't push it away from the wall. No. I need to have made a 1 somewhere. Okay. Let's go and do it slightly differently so there's a... maybe that I don't go down to there, but I have to because of the 5. Because I've avoided filling in both those bottom bits. What if I don't go over that way? Go around this way instead. Does that work? Oh, but I can't get to there. Wait. No, yeah, because the bottle's in the way. Either way, there's a bottle in the way. What if I make this slippy? But I have to clear that. That has to end up being the 5 in the end. How do I do this bit? I need this. Oh wait, I can just clear it out afterwards, can't I? Okay, so I push the 1. I can clear it out at this point. In fact, those need to be 0s as well. So yes, okay. And then 5. Yeah, okay. I was being silly. That's not 5. That's 5. 3. 0. And I can push this to the bottom. Yay. And finally we come to my puzzle, which is the last puzzle of the game. So as I said earlier, I wasn't the last person to actually add a puzzle, but I guess everybody else after me decided their puzzles should go earlier in the game. Mine ended up being the last one. So, what was I going for with this puzzle? So yeah, I guess as I mentioned before, I was looking for like the last interesting things I could get out of the set of mechanics. I didn't want to add any new mechanics because every time you add a new mechanic, it feels like you're giving up on exploring the existing stuff, which I felt like there was definitely something left, especially given that we already have like 4 or 5 different mechanics all playing with each other. So I didn't want to add another thing, especially not so close to the end of the game. It would just felt so weird having a random new thing to learn. And you probably wouldn't even get time to learn it. So yeah, it would have been a bad time to add something. So I just, I spent ages trying to find new interesting things to do. And as I said, I hadn't completed that previous level, so I hadn't yet seen a puzzle where you push the number blocks onto the bottles. So I had an idea around that. I also liked going back to one of those earlier levels where it was the first level that taught you that you could push a box onto an exit while you're a slime, and then from there push it along some other slime. Like if I set this up like this, I like the idea that you can. Oh, I can't actually do it because I haven't set up the rest of the level. But if I brought that box down to here, pushed it onto that door, you can then push it off that door. And the cool thing with this setup, with having these 2 doors, is that you can then push it between the 2 doors and hit the other bottle. So just to be clear, this isn't how I went about designing the puzzle. This is how I came about with the things I wanted to touch on in the puzzle. I'll talk a little bit about how I designed it afterwards. And so I was messing around with that and the idea that numbers could go over bottles. And then I came up with the thing that looks like this. This is not the actual solution, but the cool thing here is that if you set this up in a certain way, you can have your number on the other side of a bottle, effectively putting it in a place that you could get to later. So yeah, the idea here is that let me start talking about how I ended up designing this particular puzzle, because I actually had a few iterations where I was trying to incorporate these ideas. This is the one I came to. But the way I end up using that is this idea that the way this is set up, there's only one transition to do, right? We're turning into slime once, and then at some point we're turning back into the human and we want to leave. And so that means, and so when you do that, and you do that again, when you go around here, you grab that, or if you do it the other way around, you grab this one first and then the other way around. Either way, well, in this case, you're completely stuck, so that's bad. So you know you're going the other way around. But in both cases, you end up in a situation where you can't get to the numbers anymore. So I like this idea of setting it up so that you know, if you think about it that far, you're like, well, I know I have to set the numbers up before I go and do the bottles, because after I've grabbed the bottles, I'm stuck. I can't move them while I'm the slime, so therefore I have to move them first. But mixing that with the fact that you can push the numbers over bottles leads you to this idea of, well, actually, that's not true. What you can do is you can push a number into a place that you could push it later after you've done after you've messed with the bottles. But so when I was designing this, I just come out of playing Shackle. And so I was really thinking a lot like some of the later Shackle puzzles. I was thinking like, okay, so how do I make it not obvious? Because Shackle had quite a lot of red herrings in it. So I was like, so how do I make it not obvious that you need to push the numbers there afterwards? So that's what most of this room is about up here. This space up here is meant to be a bit of a like a little bit of a red herring. It's literally red, right? All the best red herrings are literally red. I don't know if anybody ever ends up seeing it like this, but like I intentionally put, so obviously there's the numbers 0, 2, and 1. At the top here, there's some slime that's like 2 on that column, 0 on that column, and 1 on that column. I was like, oh, okay, well, I might try and make people think that they have to arrange these in this space down here. Don't know if that ever worked. It doesn't really matter if it didn't. Because the other benefit that these slimes up here have is that they block off this space as being useful for these numbers. And the main tricky one here is 0, right? Can I even actually get 0 into the position where there's 0 things? I don't think, well, yes, I guess I could like that. Right, and in theory, like maybe you could set these up in a way that would allow you to compass them and draw the right number of slimes. However, the other difficulty is that you all also realize there's a box there. So at some point, that box has to be pushed. And you probably come to the conclusion that it's probably going to be used to hit the bottle at some point, right? Because you've been doing that a lot. That's a pretty well established mechanic. And the thing is, if you go this way, you can't get to the coin. That's the other thing, right? So the coin's important. At the very beginning, when you're the human, you can't get to the coin. There is no way. And if you turn to the slime, you can't pick up the coin. So in some way, you need to be able to grab that bottle to get to the coin. So that tells you I have to push the box over that exit. So you could start off just by going, let's figure out how you do that. Let's fill in all that stuff. You probably wouldn't do it this smoothly, but oh yeah, I have to move the numbers out of the way. Let's just move the numbers out of the way like this. Most boring way possible. So now you know you have to move this box. And get it around there so you can push it over the exits. And I just love this little maneuver you have to do in here where you slide it down this way, push it onto this exit, go around here, push it back that way. So that was like the original interesting idea I had that I wanted to explore. And then I found the number and the box thing, and I just decided, number and bottle interaction, decided to combine them together. And that allows you to be on the same side as the number, as the coin. So now it becomes all about, okay, where on earth do I put the numbers? And I'm pretty sure I've set it up so that there's only one possible place. And the most interesting one, I think, the thing that I wanted people to do is like get to this point and go, okay, so I have to put the numbers somewhere. I then go, but there's a 0. Where can the 0 go? Like to get that box out of there, I had to loop around that place. That 0 can't go anywhere up there. Can't go anywhere on the left. And then, if you're at this point, if you actually do come to this specific point and start thinking about it, you realize actually this space down here is probably pretty good for a 0 because there's nothing else on the same row. There's potentially some slime on the same column. But maybe you can avoid that. And so then it becomes, okay, so maybe I have to get that 0 in here. How does that work? And if you've done the previous level already, you know that you can push the numbers over the boxes, over the bottles. So that's what you do. You bring this down. Let's not think about the other ones at all yet. You bring this one down. And you get it here, and it's the same funny little maneuver. I just like that it works for both of them. And you push it over the bottle. That's what makes this subtly different to the previous puzzle, is that this is not just pushing it onto the bottle, but past it, so that you can still grab the bottle for later, which I really like. And then you can grab the bottle. And let's do the rest of it. So obviously the rest of it's not fully set up. It's not going to completely work. So what you can realize at this point is I need to get one of those spaces down the bottom to be a 0. The problem is it's not going to be this column because I had to get in here. I had to leave on there. So it's going to be one of these 2 columns, right? Can it be this column, the one that I'm in right now? Potentially, right? Like there's currently 0 in there. So if I go around and I try and push the box, and I push it over, and that's all well and good. And you do this. Okay, let's just go ahead with it. Validating my own logic here as we go. So now there's a space for the 0. Cool. Now, is there a space for the 2 and the 1 to go? Interesting. So this is the part where like I feel like I may not have like considered every option. I believe the way this currently is, there's nowhere the 2 and the 1 could go. I need to be able to loop around there, so I can't leave them in the path. So they have to go somewhere else. The 2 potentially could go there. So, okay, this might be interesting. Maybe I'll find an alternative solution. It's close enough to the intended solution that I don't really care. But, like, 2... Because there's 1 slime here, 1 slime there. So that would be 2. But the 1, where would the 1 go? What was I putting? So I was putting the 2 there. I guess the 1 could go there, so only that one hits it. Does that work? Is that doable? That's not doable. Right, because I need to get the 0 out of here. So the 2 has to go that way. Yeah, okay, cool. I don't think there is an alternative solution. Anyway, the other thing is that in theory you could get this 3rd column to also be a 0, which you can do. If you do that, let's just do it this time. And what that means is you can make this column a 2, and this one a 1. But it does require you to push the box slightly differently, so let's put that there. Because obviously that can be a 1, because I'm just going to come past here with a slime and just leave a slime here. So that's 1, that's easy. The 2 is more interesting, because right now it's already satisfied. But I'm going to be clearing that slime below the box in a moment. So I'm going to leave an extra one here. So that makes 2 at the top, 0 at the bottom. That means I need to make sure I don't leave one here. So when pushing the box later on, okay, am I doing everything right? Yes, I think so. Pick that up. I just love this idea of like, I have to set the boxes before I do the slime stuff, but actually no, you don't. Hopefully that's what comes across when people play the puzzle. Otherwise, I failed. Yeah, so the thing you have to do slightly differently for the box is actually fill this space in so that you can slide it from here and not fill that in. So now that column where the box just was is still a 0 because the 2 blocks the slime at the top as well. This is like combining every single fact about how these mechanics work, which I think is good for a last puzzle, right? You have to push that to the left, push it to the right, and push to the right again. Now we have a single space where the 0 can go, which is there, and we can pick up the coin. And we're done. After extensive testing and monitoring with sensors, the technology is determined to be perfectly safe for humans. So, the one other thing that I added to this game is that horrific giant slime monster thing. I did not do this though. Okay, that's cool. So I did not make this whole level. I just made the giant slime because in What Gophers Go For, at the end of that, there's like a giant gopher. And I was like, well, it'd be fun if we carried across that theme and kept doing that. So I made a giant slime. And so that was my interpretation of what this mini slime looks like when scaled up. I have no idea if whoever drew the mini slime, if they were imagining something that looked like that. I was kind of trying to make it look a bit like a... so originally I made it look quite a lot like a Boo from Mario. Like with a tail at the back that's like fading away. It's like a round ball ghost blob thing. Then I felt it looked too round compared to the original slime, so I like flattened it out a bit and put some shading on it to make it look a bit flatter. And it looks like that. I guess it looks like a weird fish thing. I don't know what it is. But anyway, somebody's put in animations to switch to human, which is really cool. So maybe that is the slime from the other room or something? How to interpret this story, who knows? I think this is not. This is just silly cutscene type stuff. And this is probably the end of the game. but there are still so many avenues for further research. Thanks for playing. Yay! Okay, that was the game. Oh, that was really fun to take part in. I think it took me about. I think I had the game for like 5 days when I was making my puzzle. I was also working at the time as well, but I wasn't doing. I put my side projects to the side, the side of the side, to like focus on doing this. I had like a completely different level at some point. That, in fact, shall I find it? Give me a second. Okay, we're now in the editor, and I've put my original level that I made, just to kind of show you how I got to where I was. So I ended up throwing this away completely, but you'll see that there's a bunch of similar ideas in it that were in the final puzzle that I did. So, yeah, so it's up here. And so you'll see I have a similar setup with the exits. They're like opposite each other. So I was definitely going for the same thing where it was like, I want it to be that you have to make a slime path and then push a block from one side to the other. There were more coins involved, but like other than that, it's very similar. It's like also got the zeros. It's about finding where can the zeros go. And so there was this whole same premise of like one of the zeros has to go past the bottle. And there is a solution that works like this, I believe. Let me try and remember what it is. Oh yeah, so what I didn't include in my actual final level is these X's. I ended up just not needing them for anything, so I didn't put them in. But that's one thing I didn't. It's not. I guess my final level wasn't a mix of everything. So where this was gonna work is that you were gonna have to bring a box from one side all the way through to the other side and back into the central room again so that you could get the right angle on it. And then do the funny business with this. How do I avoid the zero getting hit? I can't remember my own puzzle anymore. Because I can't just do that. Oh, but when I push it, it disappears. That was a fun thing that I didn't manage to include in. Maybe I could have included that. Is that a missed opportunity? Because the fact that the slime disappears from where you're standing. Maybe I should have included that in some way. Oh well. But yeah, like right now the zero is not a zero, but it will be after I do this. And then I can push this around and there's a space in the corner where it can go. So that was, and I've made a path that I can get to this corner as well, and I can finish the level. So that was my original version, which I think feels kind of neater in a way, especially because it's symmetrical, or mostly symmetrical. I think literally the only difference is that the crater's there instead of a slime on the left. But the problem is I could not find a way to make it. I kept finding so one of the discussions that keeps coming up in the Thinky Puzzle Discord is like, if you design a puzzle like completely logically, you think about all the logical deductions as you go, like what's the first logical deduction they have to make, then the next one. Eventually, you have a puzzle that you know there's a unique solution to because you have to have followed those logical deductions. I think that method is very good. I think it's a little bit naive for like Sokoban games with lots of complexity to them, where it's like it's hard to necessarily know that you've logically deduced that this one thing is possible and nothing else is possible. Like that, it's really difficult when you've got a bunch of mechanics all interacting with each other in interesting ways. Which is why I think some people tend to go towards those like more pen and paper puzzly type puzzles, because those you can be completely like logical about, and you don't have to think about how things change as you go through the level. We were talking recently about stateful versus stateless puzzles, and obviously like Sokoban type things are very stateful because as you move stuff around, it affects the choices you can make in the future. And so that makes the solution space so complicated. It's like you can't even imagine all the possible future states because there's so many of them. Whereas when you have a thing that is like a pen and paper puzzle where everything's sort of there up front and you can just start filling it in. You probably fill in multiple bits in any order. It's all there. You can see the entire space in front of you, and so you can make those deductions. So I was, because we've been talking about this whole thing about making sure you just start with one deduction, you go to the next deduction. So I was trying to do that as much as possible, but I think it is slightly naive when it comes to this kind of puzzle, like very stateful puzzles. Like it's not an approach that just works for every kind of puzzle, I don't think. But I was trying to keep it in mind. When I came to my puzzle, I was still trying to make sure that there was some sequence of deductions you would have to go through. They're just much fuzzier than a very like pen and paper style, like I know this number has to go there or whatever. And so I was doing my best to like balance the two and try and make sure there was a sequence of deductions. And I was doing that here. But what happens when you do that is that you can end up making a puzzle and then realizing at the end of it that there's some aspect of a deduction that you missed because it's complex and there's so much to it. And there was something I did miss here. What was it? I think it was something really simple and annoying. I think it was just that I could like push these. Maybe one of them goes down here, one up here, and then I could just do something really simple in the end that I totally missed the whole time. Where you like, I think just this? No, because that does that. So maybe I don't slide it. Oh yeah, I just did it like this. And I could just go and get the coins, and then I can leave. And I could not find a good way to prevent that. Okay, not quite that, because the zero is not covered, but the zero could be somewhere else. I mean, it's easy enough to see how that would work. I couldn't find a good way to prevent it. Well, I guess I did find a good way to prevent it, which is to completely restart the puzzle and restructure it, so that wasn't an option. You can see the way I ended up doing that is by not having this two sides of the same puzzle. Like in my actual final level, where is it? This one? Yep. There's nothing going on over this side. Like it doesn't, like the fact that you can get over here and you can't push boxes around on this side and make stuff happen. Like this doesn't benefit you in any way. So I shifted everything over to basically everything's in theory in the middle column, except the grabbing of the box, which is on that side. It's a bit. The structure is definitely less like the other one was like totally symmetrical and everything, whereas this is more fluid feeling, which I guess makes sense considering it's about slime and such. It's thematic. So yeah, so I carried this stuff across, but by having everything like on this side, I could avoid that problem of like being able to activate the bottles from places where I wasn't wanting people to activate them from. I probably could have also done it the other one, but just by being less symmetrical. But I just thought I'll give up on that and just start with something that's not symmetrical and see what I get to. And that led me to this fun idea with the numbers, which I quite liked. So I'm glad I did that. I wonder if like maybe it would have been a good enough puzzle without the extra numbers, like with just the zero. Like maybe that would have been good enough. And then actually I think it would have been a very good introduction to the interaction between the numbers and the bottles to go before the previous puzzle. But yeah, it's just not the way I did it. I was trying to make something to go towards the end. I hadn't finished that previous puzzle, so I didn't know that explored the same idea. So I was just coming up with something that did. And this is what I came up with. I'm happy with it. I like my puzzle. I hope that when people play it, they get the same. They at least go through some of the motions that I'm hoping they go through. That like I designed it so that people would go through certain steps, and I hope they do. I hope there's no extra solutions. Maybe there are. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to reason about. But yeah, that's it basically. I love taking part in this. This was such a cool little project. And I can't wait for the next one. It's just somebody has to come up with a mechanic that'll be interesting. And then I'm sure one will kick off. I think it was happening since March. Like the original puzzle was made in March, so it took quite a while to go through everybody. Like people are busy, and it could take a while to design a puzzle. So yeah, that was happening for like most of the year. Is it most of the year? Like half of the year at least. Actually, it's not, is it? It's like 5 months. Whatever. It's almost half the year. But so hopefully we can start another one soon so that we can have more fun. Yeah, I had a great time contributing to it. I love the concept as well. I can't remember who it was that did the first one, but the idea of doing this, pass it on to the next person to add a puzzle, such a good idea. So if there is another one, I'm absolutely 100% going to take part as long as I see the announcement. Yeah, had a really good time, and I'm looking forward to the next one. It will be great. Okay, see ya. Bye.